Today, we are digging into something really fascinating, a brand new benchmark that tries to answer one of the biggest questions out there right now. Just how good is AI at doing the jobs that, actually power our entire economy?
I mean, come on. It's the question we're all thinking about, right? Whether you're a graphic designer, a financial analyst, or a nurse, you've probably had that little thought in the back of your mind. Could an AI really handle the complex, nuanced tasks that you do every single day?
Well, to get a real answer to that, we can't just rely on the old ways of testing AI. You see, a lot of the traditional benchmarks, they're kind of like standardized academic tests. They're good at measuring one specific kind of intelligence, but they totally miss the messy, multifaceted reality of a professional workday. So yeah, we need a new kind of test.
So let's get into it. How exactly do we build a better test? One that actually reflects the economic value of real work. That's the huge question this new benchmark sets out to answer.
And their answer is this thing called GDPval. I mean, the name itself tells you exactly what the goal is. It's a benchmark designed to evaluate AI on tasks that are valuable enough to contribute to a country's gross domestic product, the GDP. This isn't about solving riddles or playing games. This is all about performance on real-world economic output.
All right, so what makes GDPval the ultimate job test for an AI? Well, it's all in how it's designed. It's meant to mirror the real world in a way that, frankly, no test has before, and it covers this massive range of actual professions.
And the variety here is just stunning. I mean, we're talking about a manufacturing engineer designing a 3D model of a cable reel stand, or a concierge putting together a super detailed week-long luxury travel plan for a family, or even a registered nurse assessing a photo of a skin lesion. The key thing here is that every single one of these tasks is based on an actual work product created by an experienced human professional.
Okay, but the method behind GDPval, it's just as important as the results themselves. Seriously, understanding how this test was built is the absolute key to trusting what it's telling us.
So first off, the scope is just massive. The creators didn't just pick jobs out of a hat. They started by identifying the 9 sectors that contribute the most to the U.S. economy. We're talking finance, healthcare, manufacturing, information, you name it. Then, inside those sectors, they chose 44 different occupations. Everything from lawyers and software developers to recreation workers and film editors. This makes sure the test is truly representative of the knowledge work that actually drives the economy.
And every single task goes through this incredibly rigorous quality control process. First, an expert with, on average, 14 years of experience in their field creates a task based on their real work. Then it gets passed through multiple rounds of review. First, some general feedback, then a review by another expert in the very same job, and finally this back and forth loop until it's perfect. On average, each task gets looked at by 5 different humans. It's intense.
Now, this is where it gets really brilliant. The way they grade it, it's a pairwise comparison, which is basically a blind taste test for professional work. An expert grader gets the project request, and then they get 2 final deliverables. One was made by a human, the other by an AI. And crucially, they have no idea which is which. Their job isn't just to find the correct answer, because, in a lot of professional tasks, there isn't just one right answer. Instead, they have to choose which one is better, considering everything: accuracy, style, formatting, all the subtle nuances. This is how you capture that subjective quality that really defines expert-level work.
And that, of course, brings us to the main event. After all of that incredibly careful prep work, how did the AI actually do? How did it stack up against human professionals in this ultimate job test? Let's take a look at the results. Okay, so the results are pretty striking. See that red dotted line? That represents parity, basically being equal in quality to the human industry expert. Now look at the top performer, Claude Opus 4.1. It achieved a 47.6% wins plus ties rate. Let's break that down. That means in nearly half of all the blind comparisons, the expert graders judge the AI's work to be just as good as, or in some cases even better than, the work of a seasoned human professional. That is, really close.
And it's not just a snapshot in time. The rate of improvement is remarkable. If you look at OpenAI's own models, they show this steady, pretty much linear improvement over time on these kinds of tasks. This suggests that progress isn't just happening by accident. It's consistent, and it's happening fast.
But of course, the AI doesn't win all the time, right? It's approaching parity, not totally surpassing it across the board. So that leads to a really important question. When the AIs do fail, where exactly are they falling short? What are the mistakes? And when you look at the data, the AI's biggest weakness becomes brilliantly clear:
Across every single model they tested, the #1 reason they lost to the human was instruction following. They just couldn't nail all the details. They might miss a specific request about formatting, or misunderstand a tiny nuance in the prompt, or maybe fail to incorporate every single piece of reference material they were given. They get the big picture, but they often stumble on the specifics.
So, what do we do with all this? We've got this powerful new test, we've got some pretty startling results. What does this all mean for us, really? Let's break down the key takeaways.
This research isn't just a paper, it's really a toolkit for the future. And it gives the field 5 huge contributions. First, a brand new data set of tasks that are actually grounded in real economic value. Second, we get the first true benchmark that compares AI quality, speed, and cost directly against human experts. Third, some really cool experiments that show how we can actually improve AI performance with better prompting. Fourth, and this is a big one, they've open-sourced a core set of 220 tasks so other researchers can build on this work. And finally, they've released a public automated grader, which makes it way easier for everyone to test the next generation of AI models.
Hey, if you think this is brain food that actually tastes good, then you should probably subscribe to VibeDoc for more deep dives just like this one. Go on, do it now. Before an AI does it for you. And that really leaves us with one final, pretty powerful question to think about. GDPval shows us that on complex professional tasks, the best AI models are already knocking on the door of human expert-level performance. So, if they're this close today, what does that truly mean for the future of work tomorrow? Thanks for watching.